Welcome to Conversations with Linda. I'm Linda. You know, I love to have a good conversation, so let's just have one. Listen, you all, I am so excited about today's episode. I'm having a conversation with pastors' wives. Listen, y'all know this is deep for me because that's what I've been for a long, long time. I know y'all know me in this role of pastor, but yeah, before there was a Pastor Linda or a Dr. Linda, there was a First Lady Linda Willis. All right. So listen, welcome to our stage, our conversation room, all of that. Welcome to my home, lady. These are the pastors' wives of Memphis, Tennessee. So I have with me, you know what? I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell who your husband is as well. I'm going to start with you, pretty lady.
Okay. So I am Erica Clayton, and my husband is Erica Clayton. He's the pastor of Olivet Fellowship Baptist Church.
All right. That's Erica, married to Zed. Okay, next.
Hey, y'all. I'm Alex Anderson. I am the wife of Reverend Dr. David Anderson, who is a senior pastor of Clear Creek Missionary Baptist Church in Oxford, Mississippi.
All right. Alex, married to David. Come on.
Okay. I am Cherim Williams. Many of y'all may know me as Buffy. Yes. And I am married to Christopher Williams, that singing preacher in Faith Covenant Church.
All right. There you have it. That's Buffy, married to Chris.
My name is Rhonda Davis. I am married to the Reverend Dr. People like that, Christopher B. Davis of the St. Paul Baptist Church in Whitehaven.
All right. Yeah. There you have it. That's Rhonda. She's married to Chris. All right. I am. I knew, I was making this big grand introduction, but I am excited about having all of you here. And as I said in my introduction, it's because this is the role I was in for, I feel now like forever, right. And I have such a heart for first ladies because I know those shoes, I know that journey. Mm-hmm. And I thought it would be a great opportunity for the church world in particular to hear from you firsthand, what this world is like, especially now in 21st century. I'm back way in the 1900s, but what it's like for you all. So I just want y'all to relax and we're just going to have girl talk. Okay. How about that? All right. So you've told us who you're married to. How long y'all been married? How long you and David been married?
So it will be 15 years, but we've known each other since high school. So that's my high school sweetheart.
You do know, I remember.
Yes. Yes.
So here's the story that when we came to Memphis, right. Memphis, my husband, Bishop Cherim Williams, became her pastor.
Yes.
Right. So I was the first lady.
Yes.
And I remember Alex being a high school girl and all in love with David. And here y'all are 15 years later, married.
Oh, yes.
With son and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. So Erica, how long have you and Zed been married?
So it'll be 14 years.
Oh, wow.
In June.
Okay. All right. Come on, Buffy.
15
years. 15.
Oh,
all
wow.
right.
Oh, wow.
Rhonda?
Well, we're being real today, right? To our chit chatter. So this is my second marriage.
Okay.
So Chris and I both were married previously. This is our second marriage. So we've been married 8 years.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So y'all feel the room. Y'all see what we got here. Yeah. You've been in it long enough to have some real experiences.
Oh, yes.
All right. So what was it like dating a pastor? What was that like? So you got your high school sweetheart, but Rhonda, when you came to Chris, he was already pastoring, had been married before.
That's right.
What was dating him like?
You know, I think people think that pastors don't date.
Mm.
They just show up with
A wife.
wife. You know?
Right.
I mean, how many churches do we know that they candidate for? They want to know, do you have a wife?
Mhm.
And that's just part of it. I
Uh-huh.
just feel like that kind of makes less distractions in other areas if you're already,
Uh-huh.
married. So dating a pastor is very different.
I mean, but could you date openly?
Well, I'll tell you what we did.
Okay.
We did not.
All right.
We did not
Mhm.
initially, and then eventually we decided, once, because the thing is, you want to make sure this is what you're going to do or where you're going to be.
Right,
So you
right,
have to
right.
date to even see if there's any level of compatibility.
Right.
So
Before everybody gets in your business.
Right.
That part.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a time where it's just kind of like a dormant season where you're just kind of seeing each other and you don't want that public. So there's a very private time.
Okay.
And then you go to the next level of
Okay.
saying, that, what do you say? I'm the pastor's girlfriend. Like, how do you even introduce you? No,
Well, Buffy, what about you? How was
Okay, my story is so weird, y'all, and I apologize beforehand. So we met on MySpace.
MySpace.
wow.
Yes.
Wow.
My
She went way
best
back
friend,
on
Did she?
I did. My best friend Marquis introduced us, and
Now, was Chris a pastor?
yes,
Okay.
but I didn't know that. I just knew
Oh.
him as a singer, and I thought maybe he possibly was like a youth minister or something like that.
Okay.
No, went to the church and saw his name on the bus, and I said,
His name on the bus. I love it. I love it.
I was like, oh my goodness, but we only dated like 3 months, and then we got married.
Really?
Yes.
Girl, tell us about
Yes,
that.
yes. It's because they can't date.
Because they can't date.
Right. I seriously, and he was, I'll never forget, he was preaching at Great Community Temple one night. And he introduced me as his fiance. I had no idea.
That
I
you were
was
the
his-
fiance.
I know. He got up and introduced me as his fiance, and my face, you could have bought me for a quarter. I was like,
Wow.
oh wow, I wish you would have kind of told me.
Right,
And
right.
then later on, like a third date, he was like, you're gonna be my wife.
Wow.
And I was like, was that your proposal? And he was like, wow, yeah, I think we should just get married.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay.
And 15 years later.
Go minutes. Erica, was Zed already a pastor?
So Zed was a youth pastor.
Okay.
So of course I had already been at the church a while before I even met Zed, and I saw him and I was like, wow, who is that?
Okay.
But I didn't know. I thought he was just up there to do something. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was just up there on the pulpit to do something, not because I was like, Lord, I don't want a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I was like, I don't want a preacher. And then, come to find out, I was like, you a youth pastor? He was like, yeah, I'm a youth pastor or whatever. But anyway, we dated a while, but we were engaged for an entire year
Really?
before anybody knew.
Before they knew,
Before
nobody
they knew.
sniffed that
Nobody knew. And I'm telling we was like, okay, we see each other,
out.
we speak, and we go about our ways.
Wow.
And
Yep.
that was it.
I know what that's like.
So we dated for an entire year,
I know exactly what
and
that's like.
then we got married.
Well, I remember when Bishop and I were dating, we met in church in Sunday school. And I remember, he was wanting to keep the relationship discreet.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't buying that because I'm like, wait a minute, you're not hiding me, right? Well, we were really young. But there did come that point where I was saying, okay, now everybody gonna know this. Because what I'm not going to do is stay in hiding so that they can, you can be free to date who you want to date or see who you want to see because they don't know I exist. Right. And it was my church. Yeah, he joined my church. He came to Dallas for college and joined my church. But it is difficult navigating that whole dating piece, especially he wasn't our pastor. He was just one of the preachers there.
Right.
But it can be very difficult because you're trying to keep people out of your business.
Mm-hmm.
But you also trying to let them know, now, wait, girl, that's my man.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah. So tell me, how do you, being married to the pastor, maintain your own identity? Did you have it coming in, or have you had to fight for it? What has that been like? Buffy, come on.
Okay. Well, coming in, I did have my own identity.
Okay.
I was the the first lady with the mohawk with the designs on the side, and I'm gonna be who I am.
Uh-huh.
But over the years,
Uh-huh.
and with wisdom and with challenges, I've adjusted.
Okay.
I've adjusted because I've evolved.
Sure.
And I've, in the process of evolving,
Mhm.
I was able to kind of see some things that I wanted to change
Okay.
about myself. And I
Okay.
was able to
But
see
there
some
wasn't
things.
any pressure from anybody
No.
else.
And
Okay.
that's one thing I can give my husband. He's always been the guy that no pressure.
Okay.
You know, I would say, hey, listen, I don't want people thinking that I'm Women's Month, I'm going to speak because I'm not. I'm director of choir.
Don't they have that expectation?
Absolutely.
Listen, you know, and I'm gonna come to you, Alex, because I really want to get that question from you, that answer from you. But I remember, because I was young, y'all.
Yeah.
And I mean, real young. And I remember going to churches. Back then, we were going to churches at 3:00, visiting churches.
Mhm.
And people would come up to me and say, do you sing?
Mhm.
Do you play the piano? And I said, I do neither.
Mhm.
I didn't.
Then what do you do?
Right. It was like
Right.
every
Yeah.
pastor's
Yeah.
wife had to sing back in the day.
Yes.
Once he
Yes.
preached, you sang.
Yes.
Or you played for the choir or played behind him preaching.
Right.
And I didn't do either one of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I was wondering, you know, was there pressure for you to change? But Alex, what about you? Because you and Dave, y'all were high school sweethearts.
Right.
So you really hadn't come into your own womanhood.
No, not at all. Growing up in the church, you know, you always saw people have this ideal of what a first lady is.
Uh-huh.
And then being young in the church, I've always saw what that looked like.
Yeah.
And my expectations were always, okay, I had to dress a certain way.
Right.
I had to say certain things.
Mhm.
I had to be nice to people.
Girl, did I make you feel that way?
No, not
Oh,
no.
it was me.
You can tell her. You can tell her.
Yes,
You were really
It's just us.
sweet. Yes. But there were times
I
where
was a
you had-
28-year-old pastor's wife.
Wow.
but you have to take corrective criticism, you know, as well from leaders such as first ladies, you know, who are taking young ladies like me under their wing.
Mhm.
You know, that's how I took it. It was
Mhm.
never, you know, something vindictive or, you know, harsh or come off me.
Mhm.
You know, it's always something that was said in love, but with corrective criticism.
Mhm.
And that's what we need in the church.
Mhm.
And I think, you know, growing up, that was my mindset. Okay, I had to be this motherly figure to individuals all the time, you know, and I wasn't that yet.
Yeah.
You know, I was always the teenager who wanted to go, you know, from place to place, you know, church to church and have fun.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, okay, I'm not ready for this role. This is not it for me,
Okay.
you know. But I've never really thought about being a first lady at that moment.
Okay.
I was always the girlfriend to the youth pastor. You know,
Okay.
that's what I was. You know,
Okay.
that's where I was at that moment.
Okay.
I was never looking into the future of what that would look
Looking
like.
at- Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Erica, do you feel that as a pastor's wife, you were held or are held to a different standard than the other women in the church?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like even at the beginning when I knew I was going to marry Zed, that we were going to get married, I was like, man, I'm going to have to be on all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You always have to be on,
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you can't make any mistakes. You know,
Yeah.
it's just because everybody is looking, everybody is watching. They're, you
Right.
know, so I do believe now, because my husband has always told me, be you.
Yeah.
You know, and at first I was like, man, I got to do this like this person, like this person. He was like, no, be you.
Mm-hmm.
So he has always pushed me to be myself. And then me coming into my own,
Mm-hmm.
people accept me
Yeah.
because that's all I got is me, you know,
Right.
to be who I am. But they appreciate that more.
Right.
When
Right.
you're just being yourself. So
But this whole even knowing who self is,
yes,
Mhm.
right.
That's a journey.
and it's a journey
It
in the
is.
midst of him already being established
Yes.
Right.
in an identity, in a role.
Mhm.
And but Rhonda, you came in, you're already established.
I was very established.
Did you feel the need to adjust or change anything?
Initially, my goal was not to change anything. Initially,
Okay.
my goal was to be Rhonda Davis, and
Okay.
you're gonna just take it the way I give it to you.
Mhm.
Okay.
But we have to look at what our pastors do, our husbands do, as their full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's easy for us to just say, he's our pastor, we go to this church, but this is his full-time job.
Right.
This is where he works. So
Right.
I'm a nurse. I worked, in a hospital for years. When he came to my job, there was a certain level of decorum that I,
Mhm.
expected from him.
Yeah.
So I think they have that level of decorum for us, but there's tension
Yeah.
because it's his full-time job, he's our pastor, and he's our husband. So there's always that tension between all of those things. I mean,
It
we've
is.
said the word identity.
Mhm.
We've said the word surveillance, because you said they're always looking at me. That's surveillance. Then we have we've introduced othering,
Mhm.
which is not being in the inside crowd. You're kind of on the outside because we don't tell first lady.
Right.
For some reason you're a different kind of lady.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But then you're othered. So there's all these
Oh.
different phenomena that we
Mhm.
that we need to dismantle.
Yes.
That we need to decide. That's
Yeah.
not okay.
You just said something that's so powerful that really triggered me, because no other occupation that I can think of, maybe the president of the United States, does the wife come to work with the husband
With no job
Absolutely.
description.
with no
Yes.
job
But expected to
description,
work.
but expected to
For
work
free.
for free. Girl,
That's
come
the
over
word.
here.
That's
I only
the
gotta
word.
say,
For free.
Yes.
so you go to work with him
Yes.
all day, wherever, when he's
Mhm.
working, you're working,
Mhm.
you work too for free, but you're on the outside, you're the other.
Mhm.
The business part of it, if you're just the pastor's wife, you're not in a lot of those meetings where,
Right.
where your voice can be heard,
Yes.
right? And even in the conversations, people, I can remember people, I need to talk to the pastor. As if, okay, now you go somewhere
Right.
and sit
And part
down.
of it. Yes.
Right, because I got to talk to him. So you do feel like the outsider who has such that's expected to function like an insider.
That's right.
And I feel like people fail to forget that when the pastor comes into the church,
Mhm.
the wife also comes with that
Yeah.
package too. It's
'Cause
not
they
just a
gonna talk-
one-sided vision. when it
Well,
comes
and they're
to
gonna talk about you if you don't come.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Oh,
if you're the
yeah.
pastor's wife that doesn't go, because there are a few
Oh,
that
yes.
don't go to the
There's something wrong at the house. If you're
Right.
Where she at? Something wrong at the house.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They come up with all these things.
Listen, y'all can see this is just really ringing my bell here. We just got a lot to talk about, but we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to be coming right back with the Pastor's Wives of Memphis. Welcome back to Conversations with Linda. Listen, I don't know if if you got a chance to see that first part, go back and watch it, because you're going to understand now how we are in this place that we're in. We all got kind of passionate right there when we started identifying this whole phenomenon that you called othering and surveillance and all of those things that you gave it.
A
But
lot of layers.
nobody that I can think of other than the president of the United States. And she doesn't go to work with him, but she's in the White House and all
Right.
eyes are on her at all
Yes.
times. But the pastor's wife, when he comes to work, you're at work too.
Mhm.
And you're expected, as you said, Erica, to be on. And that comes with a lot of scrutiny,
It does. It does.
right? Because now they may scrutinize his sermons, but they scrutinizing your hair, your attire,
Mhm.
your children,
Right.
right? Whether you're smiling today or not, all of that. So how do you feel about that? How do you keep from becoming resentful of being under that microscope and being held to another standard, and even sometimes being criticized? How do you handle that? How do you balance that? Anybody want to take that
I'll
on?
go.
Okay.
Well, with with my husband actually being my friend,
Mm-hmm.
it's easier for me to come and let him know when I'm feeling some type of way.
Okay,
And he is the type that will stop and readjust.
that's good.
Because I've had friends growing up in the church, we have those friends where they grow up and then they hate church.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't want that for my kids.
I didn't want that either.
Yeah.
That was my prayer.
Yeah, so I said, what can I do to ensure that they are protected?
Yeah.
Because there are times as a mom where I feel like I failed and I did not protect them as well as I should have.
Mhm.
And I,
Do y'all have the mom guilt too?
Yeah.
We do.
Oh,
all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All the time.
yeah, I feel like I didn't protect them as well as I should have because I was too much the first lady.
Yeah.
And, so I would tell him, hey, that can't happen again.
Mhm.
But I want them to have fun. I want them to have friends. I want
Right.
them to be able to have friends over. But I do understand that I can't invite the whole youth department to my
Yeah,
house.
right.
So I had to kind of find a happy medium. And when I started kind of feeling pressure, I can kind of pull back and let them know,
Mhm.
hey, I don't like that. Or
Okay.
this is too much.
So you
or-
say it to him.
Yes, I
Yeah.
say it to him and he will fix it.
Okay.
And I just kind of want to piggyback off of Buffy when she was saying that there has to be a balance.
Okay.
And at first we coming into this thing, it was new for me.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, we're gonna church everywhere. When your daddy gotta preach, we going to preach.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be in everything.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I was
you
that
gotta be
first
there.
lady.
I was
her. I was her.
But we had a conversation and we talked, and he was like, hey, you don't have to go to everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the kids, like you said, you didn't want the kids to resent church or hate
Right.
church. So I was like, well, we're not going to go to this service. you
Right.
know? And then also, it's a lonely place.
Mhm.
It's a very lonely place, not only just for us, but for our kids.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because they are,
held to a double
Yeah,
standard.
yeah, they
Held-
are.
They are.
They are.
and it's like I could play with this. I want to go here. I want to go there. And then for us, it's like, but everybody can't come over, like you said, and you
That's
can't go
right.
to everybody's house.
And when I don't know what it's like now, but back in the day, if my kids did something, it was
Ooh.
highlighted.
Oh yeah.
They got in more trouble.
Mhm.
Seemed like
Mhm.
It's still the same.
it's still the same.
It's still the same.
Yeah.
Because I can definitely relate to that. Being that our church is so close
Mhm.
to us, we consider them family.
Yeah.
They feel like, and I won't say entitled, but they're a part of his life as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
And granted, we want that for him. We
Mhm.
want him to feel like this is a safe haven
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure.
for him to be at.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes, we have to have some discretion to certain things when it comes down to our personal lives.
Absolutely.
And they have to understand that.
Yeah.
And it's
that's
hard
the
to
thing.
cut that off with them because of the fact that, we bring them into our world so much
Yeah. Yeah.
that they feel like that is a part of their world too.
That's
We
true.
want them to have that, but to a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
Yeah.
That word personal
Yeah.
is what we really have to just really tune into.
Mhm.
And because we, for some reason, if you think about what people say, they say, that's my pastor.
Yeah.
They're very possessive
They
of my
are.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need y'all to just really understand
Well,
how this
Rhonda,
is going.
but Rhonda, back in the day, they used to tell you. I remember so we got married in 1986,
Mhm.
a long time ago. I used to say back when the dinosaurs walked. But they used to say they would stand at the installation when he's
Mhm.
being installed and said, "You are marrying the church."
Yes.
And so preachers, now not my husband, thank God, but pastors had that idea that I'm married to the church.
Mhm.
And I came in saying, no, the church is the bride of Jesus Christ.
Right.
I'm your bride.
I come
Yes.
first.
Yeah, so we started off saying, knowing these are not two women
Yeah.
competing for your affection,
Mhm.
but many pastors' wives feel that way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you all
absolutely.
felt that sometimes that you're having to compete for the attention or the responsibility, him being responsible to you and being responsible to the church?
I would say, I always just say, I was like, I always have to share you,
Yeah.
So there's really no on and off button unless they make it an on and off button. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because if you're seated somewhere, you're having dinner, whatever, you're spending time with family, whatever you're doing, if they get a call or, you know, most of the time they're picking up to say, okay, I need to get this. I need to get this.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another thing when we talk about balance. They are able to turn it on and turn it off.
Do you know what my loneliest time was on Sunday morning? Because every other woman who had a husband, her husband was sitting next to her.
Oh, yeah.
I never knew what it was like to sit
Yes.
next to my husband
Totally
and
agree.
have his arm around
Yes.
the seat. Never had that. So that's really, really interesting.
Mhm.
So what about David? Do you feel that? Because I mean, gosh, you've been in it like me
Long time.
a long time.
Yes.
Do you feel you have him to yourself, or you're always sharing?
Well, I have to have those, for him, tough conversations.
Okay.
It's time for you to break free
Okay.
from this area that you have going on with ministry. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, because I
Okay.
understand where his heart is for the
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't want to, I guess, disregard that,
Mhm.
because for him, of course, he grew up in this thing.
Yeah.
You know, he was a boy preacher.
So you know it's real.
It's
in him.
real.
Right. It's a
you know,
calling. Yeah.
and you don't want to slight that, you know, in any way. And this is also his livelihood as well.
Okay. Can we stop right there?
We sure can.
Full-time
Because
job.
that's
Oh, yeah.
that's the other, you know, awakening that you have
Mhm.
is that, you know, you can't complain too much.
Exactly.
This is how he makes his
That's
living
true.
That's all
too.
we're provided for, yeah.
So yeah.
My husband has no balance, so I don't have anything. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna try to help y'all or help y'all. Chris Davis has no balance. Are we recording? Chit chat. Chit chat. Chris
I
Davis
love
has no
it.
balance. Okay. we can go.
Now your husband is the one that says, I'm gonna call you, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks? Because I'm on my way out the country. You know, he's my dean in school.
So
So
y'all help me. Help me.
yeah, that whole balancing thing it's a work. You know, for us, what we did do is we made a conscious decision to make sure, because I mean, we had small kids coming into this. You know, I walked down the aisle, his first church in Dallas, I was pregnant walking down the aisle for installation with a hat sitting on my head like this, right? There's some gloves, girl. They made me wear a hat and gloves, all this kind of
But I know
stuff.
you was
It
cute.
was in July though.
Oh, you
now in Texas. In Texas. But
That's why that job description.
yeah.
But we have a dress code.
we have a dress code.
Who is HR?
Right.
Who
I mean,
is-
but wait a minute now. Y'all are fabulous. Back in my day, it wasn't fabulous like that because you had to be, you know, all moderate and all that good stuff. But anyway, what we really did try to make sure we had balance, especially with the children. So if, you know, there were some Wednesday night, you know, we come out for prayer where we said, you know, we're not going, we're going to spend time with the kids. So we had to work at that. But I also was the pastor's wife that had the husband that did revivals, and revivals used to be a whole week.
Oh, yes.
You know, and so here I go with him trying to go every night to a revival and got the kids and all that. And that's why, honey, I don't go to any afternoon services because I paid my dues.
Right.
So if Kevin Willis wants to take an afternoon engagement, wonderful. But Linda Willis is gonna be at the house. But anyhow, I digress. So y'all, we got to talk about this for a minute because we're talking about the balance of, you know, people and responsibilities. But what about the women? You know, I've always said, y'all see, I got a lot to say about this. You know, preachers have been in the Black church, pastors in particular, the closest thing to a celebrity as the African American community had.
Yes.
So that brings about its own attraction of women. Because, you know, half these women will want you, sir, if you were standing up there with a mic in your hand, you know, and a suit on. I mean, let's just be real.
They knew all the
And
things.
come
They
on.
only know the things that they're saying when they're in the pulpit. But there's a whole nother person to that pastor, to that man.
Oh,
yeah. The man.
It's like it's a whole other
man.
person, you know, to
Yes,
us.
right.
So I think if they knew all the things,
Yeah.
they may be a little bit more reserved.
So how do you deal with the women?
Is it for us to deal with it or for him?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm asking you.
I mean,
That
to
is
me,
a question.
because what you permit, you promote.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
and
All
that's
right,
how I look at
Rhonda.
it.
Yes.
Rhonda
That's
Davis
the
is
one.
spitting it out.
I'm just saying. So, I mean, now there are times when we have that intuition and we know.
Yeah.
I mean, because David's so busy laughing and talking. He don't even know. I'm like, she like you too, huh? I'm like, really? So,
Because wait a minute, let's slow walk this. Because you will be
we know.
you detective.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I feel like all of them.
And
act that
sometimes
way,
they don't.
too.
Sometimes they just don't get
They
it.
don't.
Yo, I see
Yeah.
her coming walking down the aisle. I'd be like, yep.
Shout out to Lynn Mack who says the heels
Yes,
click. What did Lynn say? The heels click differently.
Right.
Hey, Lynn.
They know.
Who was it? I didn't see that.
Oh, they just don't.
I
get
thought
it.
don't worry about it.
Don't get it.
Don't
They're
get it.
naive. Yeah.
But I thank God for the intuition
Uh-huh,
that we
uh-huh.
do have.
Yeah.
Like, God just does not lead us wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He just does not. And then, do y'all have it where sometimes they come in like they don't even speak to you?
Oh,
They just walk right on
Walk
past.
right
Let me get
past.
right to the
Yeah.
know.
Uh-huh.
I've had that, then I've had the ones that are super giddy and stay in your face like this.
Uh-huh.
But still,
It's a whole different
Yeah.
approach. It's a different strategy.
Yeah.
Or, I can keep your kids sometimes.
Girl.
Yeah.
Don't use the babies.
Won't they use
Yes,
you?
they
See,
will.
that'll make me fight you.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, now
I
I'll make
just
me
know my
come for
hands
you.
like
Using
this.
my children. Using
will
my
love
children will
these
make me
children.
come for you.
Ooh.
And it's
Oh.
funny, they wait for the opportunity for you to flip the script on them so they can run and tell that
Mhm.
every time.
Ooh.
Because
See,
they're
did y'all
good
know
with
this
doing
chit
it.
chat? Y'all would have no idea that this kind of stuff goes on, but this is the real stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So that they can, and it to paint you,
As the role person
uh-huh,
or the person who is not the victim, they want to be the
Oh,
victim,
mhm,
and you're the culprit.
right,
You know,
right.
That happens.
Or
all
you're
the time.
insecure,
Oh,
or
yes.
you're jealous,
Mhm.
or what have you, and you're trying to figure out, wait a minute, how did I get into
Right.
this position right here?
Yes.
Right?
Shame on them.
Right.
I ain't the one.
Shame on them.
Shame.
Well, being in this, starting in this so young,
Oh, yeah.
I've just seen it all.
Yeah.
That from being young, and I mean, I'm not, and older women. Now, let me just say, it ain't all just the young girls.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember having one woman told me when she found out we were getting married. She said, if I was a little younger, I'd give you a run for your money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I
She tried it.
I got a slim tick. When we were at our first church, I had one lady, we had just got there. Pastor was moving into his office and all this stuff. I had one lady, she was like, hey, I'm gonna give you, I'll give you a key to his office. I said, no, you won't give me, because I'm gonna get you whatever key you have.
Right.
That'll be my key.
Right.
I'm not giving me anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the audacity.
Right.
Some people, well, I'm gonna give you a key, ma'am. Just don't let me get that key up out.
let me change these lines.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Really?
And it's not that you're insecure or
It's
you're
not.
any of that. It is just that the subtle times that it happens and the blatant times
Yeah.
then gives you a different skin for it.
Yeah,
You
it's the
know,
level of disrespect.
it's
It's
that
not that
disrespect.
we're insecure or
Right.
there's weakness there. It's the level of disrespect.
Yes.
I want to give that same respect to anybody.
Right.
Absolutely,
You know, that's
absolutely.
in any role, if they're married or not. But ma'am, sir,
Right.
whomever,
Yeah.
I need you to have that same level of respect
Uh-huh.
for me.
Right.
It's called mutual.
Yes.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
The expectation is for me to always have a level of decorum and class and always speak to you, and speak to you. Please don't speak.
Right.
Don't not speak.
Right.
So that's the expectation for me all the time. But then when it comes to you, it's like she'll be okay. She's a pastor, but she knew what she was getting into.
Right.
So
And that's something.
there's so much unbalance, and then
Yeah. And believe it or not, back in the day, the older pastors' wives, that's what they taught us.
Yeah.
Baby, don't worry about it.
Mhm.
You know, he's as long as he comes home to you. In
Uh-huh.
other words, take all of that stuff these
Right.
folk are doing,
Right.
as long as at the end of the day he comes home. No, I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that, ma'am. And bless her heart, Miss Hattie, First Lady Hattie. That's what she used to try to tell me. And I was her hardest mentee. Her hardest, you know, back in the day, you were in the minister's wives, and we were healed or whatever.
Yeah.
But we do need to.
We do, and
Because it's like a sisterhood.
Yes.
That nobody else understands.
It's like being a police officer. When a police officer goes down,
Mhm.
everybody's at the hospital.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
they all know
Lights
about it. They on the
on.
radio, the
Absolutely.
walkie-talkie.
Right.
Even with our husbands, they are very close to each other.
Oh,
But
yeah,
they
they are.
know what's
They
going on.
are.
Such and such, this is going on. And then the phone starts ringing.
Yes.
All right, man, what y'all doing? What do we need to do?
Uh-huh.
Let us get sick. Our mama died.
Right.
We go to
like,
surgery. Yeah, y'all seen that? I don't know.
Chad had a whole brain surgery.
And we should have been on top of that.
Exactly.
But,
But
yeah.
we don't trust each other. Not we.
No,
That's-
I get
that's
it.
what-
It's
that's
hard.
hard.
That's why
That's
I feel
so
like
true.
we're so blessed to have the sisterhood that we have because our kids do play together.
Yeah.
We can
That's
call and say, hey, this is going on, or
Yeah.
did you see such? We can do that, and we
Yeah.
know that it's not going to go any further.
Yeah.
But
And we gotta
That's
do
not
better
the
with
case.
new first ladies.
yes,
It's not like we gotta, they kind of learn by default. Even when I came into the role, because I've only been married, 8 years. So I'm new to this first lady role. When I came in, I would have loved to have someone just kind of,
Oh, yeah.
just kind of help me or
Absolutely.
introduce me to other first ladies. I just kind of went to a banquet. It's such like,
Girl, isn't that where it
And you go-
happens?
you go to church,
Right.
That's where I met all the first ladies. It's so
Yes.
funny you say that. That's where I met the first ladies of Memphis when I'm from Dallas. So when I came here, I didn't know anybody.
Right.
And it was at the banquet.
Yeah.
That's where I would meet people.
Yeah.
And,
But we
and I'm
don't,
thankful I made
people
some
intentional
long-lasting friends.
about reaching out, more intentional.
Rhonda is going to be the president of the the new Memphis Ministers' Wives Guild. Rhonda for president. Rhonda for president.
Yeah.
But it really is true. And
Yeah.
that is one of the purposes that the Ministers' Wives Guild served
Mhm.
was to bring us together in fellowship and all of that.
Yeah.
As I said, I was so young starting in it. I'm talking about in Dallas. I was a part of the one here in Memphis as well, but I was so young in Dallas. I'm talking about 22.
Mhm.
And so a lot of that stuff they were telling me, I'm like, y'all ain't going there. I'm not doing that. If
Yeah.
these folks step to me wrong,
right.
it's gonna be on.
Yeah.
Right. So God had
As
to
it
do
should be.
God had to do a work in me.
Yeah.
He had to do a work. Because I had a mama on the other side of me who was saying, girl, don't you let them folk walk on you.
Mhm.
So I had to find my balance.
Yeah.
And I thank God, I have to mention her name for Sheila Bailey. She's in Dallas, Texas. Her husband, E.K. Bailey, pastor Concord Church. Brian Carter is there now, but Sheila taught me grace. When I was fighting mad, when I wanted to just go off on people, Sheila, and she was, much older than me, but she took me under her wing, and they had this big church and we had this little church, but she was so attending to me. She was so accommodating to I remember she came over to our little 2-bedroom duplex and she let me just, scream it out and cuss it out and all of that and said, now, Linda, you got to have grace. As you said, this is your husband's place of
Yeah.
employment as well. You can't ruin it
Mhm.
Right.
with your mouth.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just had to mention her name. Listen, we're going to go to commercial break. This is just going way too fast because I'm having way too much fun in talking to these first ladies of Memphis. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Conversations with Linda. Listen, the conversation that's happening off camera is something else, y'all. I promise you it is. But I am really having fun just allowing this conversation to go forward. For people who have never known what it was like to be a first lady, you never had a first lady friend or somebody in your family, this is really enlightening. This is really
Yes.
enlightening. We were talking about, having to be on, having to keep that smile on your face and all that.
That's right.
How do you do that when you're mad at him? Do y'all ever
Let me
have
tell
a
you
Sunday
an example.
where, you just got out the car?
Let me tell you, Dr. Linda. Woo! Me and Chris Davis will fuss from the time that garage go up to the time we pull on St. Paul parking lot. So, because you got to have a parking space with your name on.
Uh-huh.
By the time we pull up to that, say reserved for Christopher Davis. And he'll say, I don't know why you got John's time. You better get together. You folks pay your bills. Good morning. Hey, how are y'all? Hey, how are you? Oh, bless the Lord. From the time.
Yes.
Because in other words, you gotta, what you got going on at
Yeah.
home,
Has nothing
it's almost what, it has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
And that's not
Yeah.
fair. That's really not fair to them.
Yeah.
That you bring that level of
Yeah.
discontent that you have to them.
Yeah.
Because when they come, he has a job to do. Now, what I have done, and I'll end with this is, I learned from my mother. On Sunday mornings, I really try to reserve that time for him
I
to
had
do
to
what he
learn
needs to.
that.
And I had to
had
learn
that.
that
That
the hard
didn't
way.
come
And it's even
natural.
from the kids on down, guys. Let's just kind of, hold it down a little bit. And we could keep it together until after church was over. But as soon
As you got back in there.
as the benediction, I need to talk to you.
Now,
And they know what that means.
They already
right.
know.
I don't care how good that sermon was.
They start sweating all over me.
Girl, you have shouted and preached, baby. But when we get back in that car, we're going to talk. We're going to
But yeah.
Now, Buffy, you talked about that. You kind of came in, you said, you had your, you were a little rough around the edges, right? So did you come in being able to handle that? If I'm mad about something, I don't show it, or did you?
Oh no.
Oh,
It was
okay.
Terrible because he's been preaching since he was 16.
Okay.
And so he has a deep love for it.
Yeah.
But with me, what happened was if in the beginning I just wouldn't go to church.
Okay.
I just said,
You were that first lady.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, Pastor, you get yourself together. Okay. So, because I'm all right. You need to go have a talk with Jesus, and then I'll see you then.
Okay.
But now I'm not that way. Now on Sundays, it seems like something. I always have some type of grievance on a Sunday. I'm like, what's going on? But I have learned to bridle my tongue. I won't say anything.
Yeah.
And he'll say, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing." He's like, "Wait to have church." I'm like, "Yes, sir."
Because we're in real marriages.
Oh,
Yeah. So I mean, it can happen, and it can happen on a Sunday morning.
It sure can.
Right.
It seems like it's always Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I just have to just wait.
I'm like you. I was like, well, sometimes I would be like, I ain't going to church. He was like, why not? You know why. But then sometimes, and I am so much better now.
Yes.
This was years ago, but to sit on that front row, he knew. Or whatever, wherever you sit, he wouldn't even look at me. I'm not looking your way.
No eye contact.
I cannot. No eye contact. Because I know you will. But it's I'm like, y'all now, we don't, we just try to keep it, simple on Sunday.
Simple on Sunday. I love that.
Yeah.
Simple on Sunday. Let's keep it simple on
And by
Sunday.
the time he get through preaching, I'm normally
Something-
we good.
Yeah. The Lord don't work on
Yeah.
We are not good. And don't let these people and don't let that choir trick you to think we are. We not. I'll talk to you.
So let me ask you this, because there's so much I want to ask y'all. We got to do a part two, because there's so much I want to ask you all. Do you feel called to be a first lady? Because I've got women who say they're not even dating anybody right now, but they feel called to be a first lady.
As if it's like a,
like people are called to pastor. They feel like they're called to be a first lady.
No.
It takes a special anointing to walk in our shoes.
Okay.
But I never wanted to. I never said, I want to be with a pastor. And I know women that are like
Absolutely.
that. They will ask me, do you have any single pastors? Or some of them don't even put the single on there. Do you have any pastors? And I have to be like, that man, there you go. But you have to carry a certain kind of anointing.
it's the word call that's tripping me up.
Yeah.
Because we make this first lady role like it really exists to a certain extent, and it's nowhere in the Bible
Mhm.
So when I think of call, I always think of the things that God can call you to do. Now, am I equipped? I feel like I'm equipped
Yeah.
Okay.
to be the
Okay.
first lady. But I don't know. I think it's that
Call.
that call.
Well, I know I'm
Type of
called
deal.
to be Chris's wife.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's what I
okay.
will always explain to my church. My job is to take care of him.
Yes.
Okay.
As he takes care of you all.
Yeah.
You know, as
Right.
God gives him
That's
power.
right. That's
You
right.
know,
So are
that's
you
what I do.
are you okay with the first lady who says, I'm not working in the church, I'm not serving in the church, this is what he does, this is not what I do?
That's rough because how can you support him?
Mhm.
Because this is not just a regular job. It's not a regular occupation.
Right.
This is all God.
But I gotta
If
challenge
it's
you
true.
on that, Buffy. With all the talks that we've had, we all have different personalities,
Mhm.
Okay.
and different personality types, and we're all wired differently.
Yeah.
And you have first ladies that could be an introvert, or
Okay.
all of this doesn't, they don't work in best in that area, or she doesn't like to be in the front, she likes to be in the back.
Right.
And to decide, because we have these expectations that that are unwritten, that everybody has,
Okay.
that I feel like because she's not up doing a lot of things or visible, she's not supporting him.
No, but I'm talking about not working in the church
Not
at
at
all.
all.
But yeah, you have
Because I know some that say that's his
that
They
thing.
not
don't
working.
even want to come.
Yeah.
But you gotta think about the culture too.
I think we
of
gotta
that.
give her that space.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I
Okay.
think until because we talk about identity a lot, and identity is huge because we get so absorbed into who they are.
Yeah.
Until we really work on who we are,
Mhm.
then we can better show up. And if she hadn't really done that work, then she just being there is really she's not able to show up anyway. She's just there.
I'll say this. Imagine being in the role and then deciding that you want to change everything about it and stepping out and doing it and having the support of your husband. I had to do that because I was running
Mhm.
based off of the vision that God gave him. I wasn't fulfilled at all.
Wow.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned that,
Yes.
because that was going to be one of my questions. I'm trying to narrow these questions down because I got so many I want to ask you all. But how has it been in whatever your role is? And I'm not talking about the church now.
Right.
Your pursuits, your passions.
Mhm.
Do you receive the same amount of support?
I do now.
You do now.
Yeah.
But how did you get there? How did you get there?
I think personally you have to see the purpose of why you do what you do before you can actually get the support of somebody else.
Okay.
Because if you're not in it yourself,
Okay.
you're not going to get the support that you need or the push that you need to
Okay.
continue on to do what you do,
But
in ministry.
Sure.
So
But what about the woman that says, I've been hanging with you, I've helped you build this church, and it's my turn. It's my time. I'm ready to do something. And he's not trying to stop her.
right.
But he's not lending all of his support, because there are some women who feel that
So
way.
when she's not there, is she just not there at all, or has she? Because spirituality is huge for us, especially
yeah.
Black people. So we got to have some level of spirituality. I mean, we don't need to let anything separate us from the love of the Lord. I mean, that's how I feel. That's why I feel like I need to be there or somewhere.
Sure.
But I guess there's a lot of dimensions to that. Is she just stepping away from church?
No.
Or
Now
she just-
I'm not talking about just about being at church. I'm saying for the woman who is now saying it's time
For me to do
for
something.
me to do
something.
something.
That's my
Yeah, 'cause
testimony.
I'm
supportive.
That's
my
yours.
testimony.
Okay, tell me about it.
Because, when I turned 40,
Uh-huh.
and never forget, I woke up and I was just like, man, I'm so unfulfilled. I have this great job that's financially doing what it's supposed to do, but I
Mhm.
feel like I've hit a brick road.
Mhm.
And I was talking to my husband about it, and I said, I'm gonna have to quit this job.
Mhm.
He said,
Okay.
and do what? And I said, I want to go to school.
Okay.
Mhm.
And he said, so you're going to for real walk off this job that you've been on for 13
Wow.
years? And I said, yeah. And I have no idea what I'm majoring in. I don't know. I just know that God is calling me to do something.
Yeah.
And I want to find out what it is.
Yeah.
And I said, I think I'll be happier. My happiness should not depend on you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and what you bring.
Sure.
I need to be fulfilled in what I can do.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm going to really see God on this.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever he directs me, that's where I'm gonna go. And I just need you to be patient with me. I need you to help me more with these kids. You may not be able to take every revival.
Cause
you
so
know.
now
Yeah.
he's making the sacrifice.
Yeah, and I will
Yes.
tell him, look, I
Yeah.
would work 16-hour shifts so I can sit up with my eyes like this and listen to you preach. I need your support and I need your help. You know,
Yeah.
and he was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And now I'm
Good.
graduating in
Good.
what, 30 days? But it's because of I said I was gonna give him my diploma because there are times where I have to do study sessions and he'll tell kids, come on.
Yeah.
You know, or
That's
he's
so
cooking
cool.
and so when I go to church, it's a different kind of feeling when I show up for him now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's like, you don't have to go. I'm like, no, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing stuff,
Yeah.
because I want to be there.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like we are for real partners. It wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was not always that
Yeah.
way. It was ugly for a long time.
Okay.
But
Okay.
to be at a spot now where I have my friend, and
Yeah.
when he gets up and he proclaims the word of God, I believe him.
Mm.
You know, and I know that
Yes.
he's been studying, and
Cause that's another
challenge.
challenge.
Hey,
of-
because some
you
of them
know.
preach, I be looking at my friends, and they be looking like, boy, please. But you know, that's not the case. you
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
but
I
women
know.
have had to sit through that,
Oh,
of
yes.
feeling like you telling folk that something you're not practicing at
Right,
all.
Exactly.
right.
You know, but that's good because when you grow in this thing, you've been in it for a while. You evolve and
Oh,
you
absolutely.
do begin to look for yourself and
Yes.
find yourself, and you want that same sacrifice to be reciprocated
Yeah.
as you have been sacrificing.
Right.
So that's wonderful. And I did it too. I went back to school and he had to take kids and all of that. And it does make you even go harder for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
When
does.
when they've been there for you.
Oh, yeah.
It really does. Well, girl, congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. What advice would you give to a pastor's wife? Or let me change that to a young lady that's dating a pastor with the intentions of getting married. What advice would you give her? Rhonda, you gonna start, Erica? Go.
I want you to start.
So my advice would be to make sure that you're being honest going in.
Okay.
You know that is what you want.
Uh-huh.
You know that it's just not for show.
Okay. Don't
You
just
know,
get caught
don't
up
get
in
caught
the.
up in the hype.
Mhm.
You know, because the grass don't be green on those.
Oh,
Because
Yeah.
Sunday morning is total hype.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
is.
That's all it is.
Yes.
Sunday morning is total
Yeah.
hype.
So I would say just, be honest, know if that's what you want and just talk.
Mhm.
Communication is big.
Yeah, it is.
So I know that was more than just
No,
one.
but I think it's,
Communication.
and that's what I've been hearing from you all, and I'm really thankful that you all are there in your lives. Again, I've been in this 38 years. I remember, a long time ago when the pastor's wife was to be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was even at home,
Mhm.
that he was the pastor at home,
Yeah.
and she didn't speak her truth. She didn't buck him at all, because that was just the orientation. So I'm just thankful that to hear you all say, no, we have these conversations, and so that's good. Alexandria, what about you? What advice would you give?
I would just say, just be patient
Okay.
with him. He comes from a different breed. This is a different type of guy you're talking about
Mhm.
that you're dating. Change is going to come with time with him.
Yeah.
So you have to be patient, with him and how he operates
Okay.
in the church and also outside of church.
Okay.
And learn each other and learn him
Mhm.
and understand who he is and why he does what he does.
Why he does what he does. I love it. I love it. Buffy, what about you?
I would say seek God.
Mhm.
Seek God. Have your own prayer life.
Yeah.
Go to God about
Oh,
everything.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's
For
good.
everything.
Yeah.
You're going to lose some friends.
Mhm.
They're not going to understand.
Yeah.
But seek God. Make God your best friend. And it's okay if you find yourself going to the left a little bit to readjust.
Mhm.
God is
Yeah.
a loving God.
Oh,
yes.
Readjust.
Yeah.
And get back on track. And just just pray about it.
I love it. Rhonda?
Well, we've talked about all the things. You are definitely on the track that I want to be on, but you said something about, about him and about communicating. I don't want to talk about the pastor. I don't want to talk about the congregation. I want you to talk about you.
Mhm.
I think when you actually tap into your authentic self and who you
Yeah.
are, it's so much easier for you
Mhm.
to show up and know how to show up.
Oh,
Yes.
You do not have to be a strong Black woman.
Mhm.
You don't. Well,
Mhm.
whoever created that,
Mhm.
you do not have to be a Proverbs 31 woman.
Mhm.
I see it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't, because as we do research, who is this woman?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Who told us about this woman? Did she speak for herself? She didn't have a name. We didn't even name her.
Uh-huh.
She didn't speak for herself. Someone else is giving you all these qualities
Right.
that they think. And I think it was maybe more than one person. That's a lot of stuff that they did.
It
Isn't
is.
it though?
She did a whole,
It
she was
is.
getting up
Honey,
early.
getting up early.
Yeah,
She was selling
good.
stuff. She was
Sharing
Oh,
Right.
homeless people. I'm not doing all of that in 2023.
No, ma'am.
And why are you all naming every one of your Women's Day the Proverbs 31 Day?
Exactly.
Don't invite me. I'm not coming. I don't want to be her. I need all of you all.
Rhonda said she is not coming.
Proverbs
Do
31.
not give her the subject. Do not give her the subject of the Proverbs 31. She is not coming.
I will cash up you an offering, or I'm gonna call for your assessment, but I'm not coming because I don't want to be her. I
It's
want
not
to.
her.
I need all of you to hold me up. I need you to know that I fall often,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
but I need to know if I tap into who Rhonda is, I can't look for Chris Davis to make me happy.
That's
And before I was
the-
saying-
that's the big
That's
one
the
right
one.
there.
You hurt my
That
feelings.
is the
I'm
big
not
one.
happy. Why?
Yeah.
Why can't I make myself happy?
Right.
And when we say self-care, it's not just getting your nails done.
Oh, no.
No, that is not self-care.
We do that anyway.
That's what I did that on my way to this.
Right.
We do that
I had to get
anyway.
it done. I had to get it done.
Yeah.
But self-care is really knowing who your essential self is.
Yeah.
What is my personality? I am a type 2 from an Enneagram standpoint. I'm a type 2. I'm a helper. That's who I am. And Buffy knows who she is, and we know this is, and maybe that's something that we can tap into for first ladies to know what makes them tick, what do they thrive in, what areas. So my thing is, to get back to the question, the advice I would give someone that's dating a first lady is to find out who your essential self is first. Because when you find out who she is, you're going to be able to show up for him,
Oh, yes.
for your congregation,
Yes.
for everybody, because you're going to know what's healthy for you.
Yes.
Yes. So that's what I want to tell her.
Okay.
That is.
We talked about the guys. Let me ask y'all about you all, right quick. Because y'all are friends.
Yes,
Right.
we are.
They're getting ready to start a minister's wives. No, the guild.
Gil.
The guild. There's still a minister's wives guild in Memphis, I think, but they're gonna start number 2. The greater guild.
Yeah.
The greater guild. But listen, okay, who is the encourager in this group amongst friends? Who's the encourager? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
each other.
Who's the comedian?
That's Buffy.
Oh, I would
It's
say
Buffy
Buffy
and
and
Rhonda.
Yeah.
Okay, who's the crybaby?
I don't think we have
Yeah.
anybody that.
Y'all don't have a crybaby? Okay, who's the rebel?
I'm the rebel. But
Erica and Rhonda.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Don't-
Yes.
Don't let them call me, and I will be there. I have to
Yes.
call. I'm headed over to.
Oh, they both ride or die.
They come in because I'm
But I think that's wonderful because you do need some friends. You need some people who get you and will get folk up off of
Yes.
you
Oh,
if
yes.
necessary.
And you know what I want to say this? Sometimes we get so down in the trenches, y'all, to where we can't pick ourselves up.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate our circle. I appreciate the sisterhood.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't want to do nothing, but you just want to cry.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you feel like nobody understands.
Sure.
But you were able to pick up the phone and call or just say, I just need you to come and sit with
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is so
You
good.
know? So
This has been just wonderful. Listen, I mean, more questions, but I'm gonna put my questions down because y'all know I'm never out of conversation. I'm just always out of time. But I have enjoyed these ladies, and I know that you have too. Chit Chatters, y'all tune in with me every Sunday evening at 7 o'clock 6:30 is our pre-chat. Now, really, y'all, I think I'm about to end this season. I just thought about that. This is probably going to be my last show of the season. So, yeah, y'all go back and look at some old episodes, and then I'll be back in a couple of months. Yeah, I need a little time. All right. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Love y'all.